Time to hang out with my sister girl. Hey, sister girl on films. Hey, sister girl on films. Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Sister Girl on Films. And y'all, we are back with Love is Blind, Season 4, Episodes 9 through 11. Now, before we get started with the recap review, I just want to say right now that my energy level is probably going to be a little low. The last couple of days been kind of rough for me, and my allergies are on 10 today, like crazy. So I apologize if I'm sniffling and all the things. You know, I'm looking a mess, y'all. I'm doing the best I can, okay? So we are at kind of like the final stretch of this season of Love is Blind. And everybody who is anybody that's on social media knows that it's been a lot of drama, a lot of stuff coming out, all the things. Irina recently released an apology, which I did a reaction to, so that is on my channel. Jackie has been releasing text messages and all that stuff. So look, let me just say this. Let me get this out the way up top. I really wish the producers of Love is Blind would go back to restricting them from releasing information on social media. Because season 1, we didn't get none of that. Like anything that happened, we didn't find out until all the episodes had aired, and then a lot of stuff that came out like after the altar and all that stuff. And so we were more engaged as an audience, and even those couples seemed more like interesting to us because we were like not knowing what was happening as things were unfolding. And now progressively more and more, we have gotten couples who just be talking too damn much, releasing statements and doing this and doing that. Like, just stop. Keep them secluded until all the episodes have aired. And I don't mean like they can't go out, but but put them on like a social media like freeze or something until all the episodes have aired. And then they can talk about whatever they want to talk about. But all this, let me clear my name, and just stop. Anyway, y'all, so let's go ahead and get into these episodes. Now, I'm not going to do episode by episode like I did last time because, quite frankly, wasn't a whole lot happening. So let me go ahead and start with Brett and Tiffany. Ain't nothing to talk about with them, y'all. We're just going to be completely honest. I feel like I'm not going to do what the show is doing and try to force conflict and force drama when there's none to be experienced. Like, they're fine. They're absolutely okay. Tiffany has met Brett's dad and brother. They love her. Like, they don't have any issues other than this manufactured conflict about his spending habits. But after meeting his family, you see that Brett grew up, maybe a little bit closer to the poorer side of things. And so now it makes sense that him as an adult, him making probably more money than he thought he ever would as a child. Now as an adult, he got money to spend, he gonna spend it. So, I don't think it's that much conflict. The biggest issue I have with this couple in the midst of all these episodes was that damn booger in Tiffany's nose. That's it. I'm not talking about them no more until their wedding. I don't want to hear nothing else about Brett and Tiffany. They're good. We love them. We're rooting for them. I think they're going to get married. Let's move on. So Micah and Paul is another couple that is relatively safe. I thought that they would have more of an issue with Micah living in what we found out now is Scottsdale in Seattle. But Paul is more open now to the idea of, possibly moving to Arizona. And so he's just pretty much like, he loves Micah and he doesn't want to lose her. So if he has to compromise with where they live in order to be together, he's okay with that. And Micah isn't necessarily pushing the issue. She's asking to kind of figure out what that means for them moving forward. She's just trying to put things in perspective for him that like, it'll be a long distance relationship, if we don't figure out what living together looks like for us. So I appreciate that they had that conversation and kind of got to a place where they were kind of sort of on the same page. They're not at a complete resolution, but they're closer to one than what they were before, which is a good thing. We did get to see that Micah's mom had been sick and that she didn't think that she would ever get to see Micah doing a dress fitting, preparing for her wedding, all those things. And it was a really sweet, emotional moment. I hated that that moment had to happen at the dress fitting, with all these strangers. I was like, this feels like a more personal moment, but I guess for the cameras. So Micah's big neck friend, Shelby, was also at the dress fitting. And y'all, she pissed me off. Let me tell you, I wrote down exactly what she said because I just could not believe my ears. The same girl a couple episodes ago that was crying at the bar and hated Paul and got into it with him and just wanted the best with Micah, yada, yada, yada. In episode 10, at the dress fitting, she says, and I quote, I wrote it down, "I've met Paul, and he's a really nice guy, and I don't think he would hurt her." Say what? Now, hold on. Hold on, big neck. Now, last week, a couple weeks ago, that was not the same energy. And then you switched it up today, and then fast forward to the bachelorette parties, you back on that same shit. I just don't know about this, and I don't want her to do. Get it together. She just gets on my damn nerves. I don't even know what that was about. But either way, Micah and Paul, they can't imagine not being together. I don't really think there's too much that could happen where they wouldn't say yes. I know some people, and me being some people, speculated that Micah might say no because of her friend. But after these episodes, I feel like Micah is like, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't care what they say. I'm in love with you. That's what she was what she was giving me. She don't care what nobody say. She in love with Paul, and she gonna be with that man because she want to be with her little nerdy scientist bae. So we'll see what happens during the weddings, but I think Paul and Micah will get married. Let's move on to Zack and Bliss. Ciao. Okay, so this episode we got to meet Zack's family and Bliss's family. Let me tell you something. This was a doozy. So first, it was good to see Zack with his family because his family seems really sweet. They really love Zack. It seems like they really understand him, and obviously they understand everything he's been through in his life with his mom passing away and all the things he had to deal with growing up. So it was good to see that side of him, and they were really receptive to Bliss, and they really liked her. I was a little taken aback because Bliss's sister looked a lot like Irina. Maybe it's just me, but I just keep feeling like every time we meet somebody in the family, it looks like somebody is part of the cast. But that was kind of odd. But overall, though, Zack's family really liked Bliss. Child, now Bliss family, oh Lord have mercy. So Bliss's mom, super sweetie poo, ain't she a sweetie cake? Loved her. I just wanted to pinch her little cheeks. She walks in to meet Zack, and Bliss is like, "Girl, you crying already?" That was so funny to me. When you see her mom, she's like, "Lady, why you crying? Ain't nothing happened yet." But she was so sweet, Her sisters, they seemed like they were probably crying. They were just excited to see Bliss. But, they didn't let Zack off easy. Bliss made him, tell what happened in the pods. He ended up talking about, proposing to somebody else first, which Bliss didn't expect. But she was just like, well, I guess, you're going to tell him everything. He definitely didn't tell her daddy that. We're going to get there, though. But, her mom and her sisters were, like, really understanding. And just very welcoming and happy for Bliss. And, they were like, this is strange, and it seems like it's kind of fast, but, Bliss is smart. She's our princess. She's going to make the best decisions that she can for herself. And, we're just happy. And if she's happy, we're happy. Zack, at one point says, well, we get married, if we have kids, there'll be one mom here to help us. And it was so sad. And Bliss's mom was like, well, you guys get married. I'll be your mom too. I said, get this lady out of here. Lady, if you don't get your sweet, kind, caring, empathetic, warm, loving self on out of here, that was so sweet. I love that lady. So, seeing her, and then later on seeing her daddy, I don't want to get in them people's business. But I can see how and why they got a divorce. Just saying. I'm just saying.
I ain't one to gossip, so if anyone asks you, you ain't heard from me.
But I can see why they probably weren't a match, honey. Because we get to Bliss's daddy, and baby, now Bliss tried to give Zack a soft warning in them damn pods about how her daddy is. And she also been trying to slowly but surely be like, all right, you ready to meet him? Zack is trying to hype himself up. I'm ready. Let's do this. Child, that man came up in there. He came in like a wrecking ball, okay? Like Miley Cyrus. Just a wrecking ball, honey. I didn't like the way the stepmama was looking. She had a stank look on her face. I'm like, girl. I didn't like how her siblings were acting. Everybody was just being rude, okay? Not giving Zack a chance. It was a very like hard contrast between her mom and her dad, okay? Her dad is just going in on Zack, asking questions. Do you fish? Zack is like, no, I'm not really a big fisher, but I can learn. Okay. Well, do you do this? Well, do you do that? Okay. Just not really giving Zack a chance. So Zack is like explaining the process to him and, you know, how everything goes. And the dad is just like, well, this is just dumb. You know, I don't even know why you're even doing this. And she cut her dad off. She's like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. He's like, well, I was in the middle of talking. She said, oh, okay. Look, this is my life. We are happy. We've thought this through. I get how it sounds, but I'm gonna do what I wanna do to be happy. And he was like, well, it looks like it. She was like, yeah. And so then the stepmom started crying, and I started clapping. I said, Bliss. And she defended her relationship with Zack. She had his back, and I was here for it. I liked the way she did it. She didn't immediately try to jump in and save him. She gave him opportunity to stand up for himself and speak for himself. And when she saw the shit was going really off the guardrails, she jumped in and was like, all right, enough. Let me dead this shit. And Bliss, girl, I love you for that. Stepmama started crying. Bitch, what you crying for? Get your man in check. How about that? That's why, again, that's why Bliss mama left him. That man mean as hell. I'm just saying. Can y'all imagine that sensitive ass lady, emotional, caring, empathetic lady being with that man? Sure, I don't know about them people business, but I'm feeling good about Zack and Bliss getting married. The only thing that concerns me is that she keeps bringing up the shit about him proposing to Irina first. So will she be able to let that go? And will Zack be scared off after the situation with her dad? Because at the end of the day, regardless of her being able to put that man in check or not, that's still her dad. And so he's still gonna be around. And you still gonna have to deal with him in family functions. And if Zack is like, I can't deal with that, that's understandable because her dad was a lot. And Zack requires so much external validation and acceptance that I feel like her dad not immediately just like loving him like her mom did might be something hard for him. So I'm on the fence with them. I want it to work out for them because I do like them as a couple, but I don't know if Zack is gonna say yes. That's who might be our wild card, but we shall see. Jackie and Marshall. Yeah. So when episode 9 picks back up, it's after Chelsea's birthday party. And so Marshall and Jackie are headed back to their apartment. And so he's trying to, you know, kind of resolve their relationship issues and talk to her, you know, and find out what he can do to improve as a partner for her. And so she's just like, I'm just so tired, bro. Like, I can't. Can we just go to sleep? Oh my God, like all of this. Ma'am, let me tell you something. You wouldn't have to have this conversation at home after the party had you got your little narrow ass up from talking and being all up in Josh's face and went over and sat down and had a conversation with Marshall at that damn party. But I'm assuming that didn't happen, and that's why he's trying to have that conversation now. So you had enough energy and time to talk to Josh, but not to Marshall. Okay. So she tells Marshall that he's doing great. She doesn't need anything else from him and just love her. And Marshall just looks so frustrated. And I'm sure he was, because I feel like Jackie, because she's such a beautiful woman, that she probably has spent a lot of her life just getting by on her looks. I feel like she probably was the mean girl in school. I definitely picked up mean girl vibes from her in the pods and at the honeymoon, you know, at the resort. So she probably was always like the mean girl or the popular girl, the one that all the girls probably wanted to hang around with because she was pretty and she got attention, the one that the boys probably always wanted. And so she's never actually had to put in effort in any relationships, whether they be friend relationships or romantic relationships. And now she's with a man who, yes, recognizes her beauty, but he also needs more from her. And she can't do it. And so she just wants him to be able just to accept her by giving him half-ass mediocre emotional affection. And baby, that ain't how shit work, okay? So Jackie doesn't show up for the bridal fitting. And so I guess this would be another time I bring up Brett and Tiffany, because they just so stinking cute. So Tiffany and Micah are talking about Jackie not being there, and Tiffany is like, I expected her to at least see it through to the altar, because they are engaged, and just try to make it work. But she, peeped that Jackie wasn't at the fitting. And so she texts her man, honey, so cute, and was like, is Marshall at the fitting? Because Jackie ain't here. And so Brett pulls Marshall aside and was like, I just want you to know, Jackie ain't over there at the bridal fitting. And so Marshall, looking sad. He's like, dang, she at least could have, texted me and told me. So I feel like maybe they had a falling out or a conversation or argument or something in regards to their relationship and if she would or would not show. I don't know, because we didn't see a whole lot of them, but he didn't seem as surprised as I thought he would. So I feel like a part of him knew that she may or may not show up. That's at least how I read it, based on his reaction. Now, I don't know if this is the same day, because Jackie, running her mouth on social media, of course, is saying that these two scenes were edited in a weird way, and the conversation with Josh wasn't the same day as the dress fitting. Girl, who cares? Either way, you had a conversation with this man while you was on this show. Anyway, so Jackie is having lunch with Josh. This girl is so tacky Jackie. Tacky Jackie. Why have I not called her that up until this point? Her ass is Tacky Jackie for the rest of this recap. So Tacky Jackie meets up with Josh. And so she's sitting there all, excited to see him. She's like, when I walked into the party, I heard your voice and all the hairs on my body stood up and my nipples got hard. Tacky Jackie, please, girl. Like, really? Just immature and childish, honey. She is telling Josh about Marshall and her relationship and how it was a mistake and she probably shouldn't have said yes to him in the pods because she doesn't really feel it for him. He's too sensitive for her. Girl, please. She told Josh that, she's willing to try and be with him and give their relationship a chance, but she's not wanting to get married so soon, and he has to be okay with that. Now, is it possible that this scene is out of order and that this did happen after the conversation with her and Marshall at the apartment? Of course, absolutely. But see, here's the thing, Tacky Jackie. Unless they edited your vocals and your audio as well, when you and Marshall were having that conversation, which I'm going to bring up, you said that you had just finished seeing Josh. So did you see him, as it was another situation before this diner? Like, make it make sense for us, boo, because you trying to cover your tracks, but you missing some steps, okay? So anyway, so Jackie is, I guess, officially done with Marshall and is now in a relationship with Josh. Marshall goes to their apartment to meet up with Jackie to talk through things. And so she's basically like, I can't be with you. I cannot love you. Which is crazy because a couple days ago, you just was begging him to love you. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Girl, what? And so Marshall was like, I haven't required anything from you. Which, Marshall, let me tell you something. That was your first mistake. Because you should have required some shit from her. Because you were enamored by her beauty. And because you saw her as a project, you wanted to make it a mission for yourself to make her a better woman, instead of requiring her to do that for herself. And so you ain't a complete victim, sir. You should have required more from her. You should have had her ass holding her feet to the fire and not just not addressing issues when you had them. But Marshall asked for the ring back. He said, I do think you need to give me the ring back because I gave it to you thinking that we were going to get married and blah. He just feels like she lied to him, basically. And so Jackie was like, well, I don't think I should give you the ring back because I accepted it. Girl, I guess. I mean, from a legal standpoint, it's a gift. But still, girl, please. And so, and then Marshall was like, okay, that's how I'm going to let you keep the ring. And I think the idea of him saying, I'm going to let you keep the ring pissed off Jackie because her whole face was like, bitch, what? And so Tacky Jackie is like, well, all right, I'll be seeing you around. It was nice knowing you. And Marshall was like, actually, no, you won't. And she like rolled her eyes and shit. And then in her individual interview, she was like, I'm just not ready for this. Like, I can't be with Marshall, and I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I just can't be with him. She was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to be with Josh. Maybe I just need to do some work on myself. No, Tacky Jackie, it's not a maybe. It's a definite. You definitely need to do some work on yourself because, girl, you got a lot happening here. Y'all, this last couple, first of all, Kwame. Now, when I first did my part 1 review, I called him Kwame. Then I backed it up and apologized in my part 2 and said, I'm sorry, I think I pronounced it wrong. I think it's Kwame. And then I saw a content creator who was talking about how Kwame has changed the pronunciation of his name, but it actually is pronounced Kwame. I knew I wasn't tripping because I have seen that name before. And the couple of people that I've met whose name is Kwame introduced themselves as Kwame, not Kwame. But they were also Black American. So I'm like, well, maybe it's just our AAVE pronunciation of things. So maybe we're just pronouncing it wrong, but the actual Ghana pronunciation is Kwame. It ain't. So Kwame, like I said, and Chelsea, child, there's so many things I have got to say. Okay, so first we see Kwame and Chelsea out shopping. And Kwame looks visibly annoyed by her. And I don't know if Chelsea's just not picking up on it because she don't want it to ruin her mood and her vibe, which I'm gonna get to all that in a little bit. But she was trying to make him feel a little bit better and he just was not here for it. And so come to find out, earlier that morning, he asked her how she was feeling or was she doing okay? She was like, does it look like I'm okay? And he took that to be rude. And apparently that's something that she's been doing frequently when they've been interacting with each other. So he's kind of annoyed by that. As she comes out in one of the outfits, he's like, okay, that's a tough look. And she was like, oh my God, just say I'm beautiful. And he was like, what? I don't know what that means. I don't get that slang. And Kwame was like, I'm sorry. I mean, it looks nice. I'll just tell, oh, okay, cool. No, I like that. Kwame and Chelsea sit down, and so he's trying to tell her about his feelings, talk to her about his feelings. He's like, we need to talk about this morning because it was not a great morning for us. And she just started smiling. He was like, don't smile. She's like, oh my God, I just can't take you serious. And she pushes his face. You're just so cute. They start to have like a little disagreement about how he feels she can be kind of rude at times and how she doesn't really recognize it. And she's like, well, you can nitpick things that I do and I'm not okay with that. And so then they kind of go back and forth and, is he really wanting to get married? Especially if he hasn't talked to his mom, he hasn't gotten her approval. And he's like, well, I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to. And I do love you, but we got to be for real about some of the issues that we have because we just can't keep sugarcoating shit. Okay, fair enough. And then so, Kwame is just really just kind of talking about how he doesn't have his peace like he does in Portland, which people again, and I am people, kind of came down kind of hard on him about that. But in reality though, let's be for real. We can debate back and forth about the sense it made for him to apply for the show because it made none. But, realistically though, if he has, set up roots in Portland, he has connected, made a social support group, has friends there, has a routine, loves his space, all these things, I can imagine that it could be a challenge for him to kind of be in this experience when I'm sure he has his own ways of coping with things back in Portland, whether that be running on his favorite trail, whether it be playing his video games, sitting on his couch, talking to his friends that he has there, whatever that looks like. And him not having that, he's not able to really outwardly express his stress and really kind of adapt because there's a lot of change. I gave him shit for it last time, but I can also understand why he's kind of frustrated. So Kwame meets Chelsea's family. And so Chelsea is bragging on Kwame. Oh, he's so great. He has an MBA. He played professional soccer. He's talented. He's creative. He has a beautiful voice. He don't. He plays the guitar. He don't. He plays the piano. Bitch, win. Girl, stop lying on it. He just sitting there just, girl. He played a beautiful song for me, and her mom or aunt, whoever was like, well, what was the name of the song? We made it up. We made it up. Yeah, don't tell nobody what that was. It's a real thing. Finally found a real thing. Yeah, perform it, Kwame. You and Chelsea. She said, well, I was just crying. Girl, both of y'all are delusional. I can't. It was so annoying. And then the grandma gonna say, well, I got a harp in there. You wanna play it? There's a couple strings missing on it, but you want to jump on the harp right quick, you can do that. So Chelsea's family is loving Kwame. So Chelsea, you know, is really trying to sell him on the idea of Seattle. Her family asked him, you know, what do you feel about leaving Portland to be here? And Chelsea's like, oh, he's warming up to the idea, right, babe? And he was just like, he's not. Because even at the end of episode 11, he was just like, Seattle, you're trash. Like, I don't like this city. I don't want to move here. Like, y'all are like bottom of the barrel. I'm sure people who are from Seattle watch this is probably cussing him out. But we find out that Kwame tries to call his mom one more time. His mom, now she's not even answering his phone calls. So he calls his brother, and his brother's like, you know, well, I talked to mom. You know how she is. She's super religious. Eventually, you know, when she meets Chelsea, you know, she'll probably grow to love her. She'll be happy, but she's just not ready right now. He's like, but dad is happy. And dad is excited for you. So it was good to hear Kwame's family, because I'm sure he's probably felt alone in this process too. We did get to meet his family, and I loved his family. First of all, his brother had a hairline looking right, hair looking good. Oh, Kwame, this is a choice. This is a fashion choice, okay? Your hair is a fashion choice. We're not gonna cut you no slack, brother, okay? But I loved his sister, I loved his brother. They were so sweet. It was good to see another side of Kwame. He just looked happy, and he looked just like, finally, my people are here. But of course, his mom wasn't at the wedding. His dad, we didn't see him. I'm assuming he wasn't at the wedding either. And so, you know, we got a cliffhanger with Kwame and Chelsea at the altar. So I don't think they're gonna get married, because he kept saying he had cold feet. So I think it's gonna be a hell no for him, and obviously, yes for her. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, y'all, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And I'm gonna see y'all on this Friday for the weddings. Well, Saturday. We'll say Saturday, because, you know, we gotta let the episodes actually happen. Let me not lie. But I will see you guys Friday or Saturday for the weddings and the live reunion. Thank y'all so much for y'all support, and I'm gonna see y'all next time.
Sister girl on films, you don't wanna miss a thing. Better stay tuned in. So lay back, get into the vibe, in the mood. Real reviews from a sister's point of view.